Finkelstein is a professor of law and director at the Centre for Ethics and the Rule of Law at the University of Pennsylvania. She joins us now live via Skype from Pennsylvania. Claire, throw enough mud at the wall, some of it will eventually stick. Is there any chance of any of this litigation impacting the final outcome of this election?
Well, Adrian, it doesn't look like that's the case. I'm here at ground zero of this litigation, namely in Pennsylvania, and there have been numerous lawsuits filed. For example, objections to the curing of ballots in which mail-in ballots were defective for some formal reason, and it's standard procedure here to call up the voters and give them a chance to correct those ballots, for example, by signing the outside of an envelope. There's the lawsuit about how close Republican observers, members of the Trump campaign, can stand to the tables where the ballots are being recounted. There's lawsuits surrounding what's called provisional ballots. But it looks as though, first of all, this is the most important point, none of these lawsuits could result in flipping the results in Pennsylvania because the number of ballots involved is just too small, and Joe Biden's lead in Pennsylvania is now too great. That's one issue. Another issue is that judges have not generally been sympathetic. The most that the Trump campaign has gotten out of these lawsuits so far is that some of these ballots have been ordered to be segregated so that they are separate from the other ballots in case of legal challenges down the road. But that's not going to make a difference to the outcome ultimately, because it doesn't suggest that the judges will be sympathetic on the merits. There was a decision in Delaware, or rather in Delaware County, a negotiated solution that allowed members of the Trump campaign to stand a little bit closer, and that has not happened in Philadelphia County. And so there are arguments like, well, the counties should all be the same. I don't think that any of these challenges are really going to make a difference to the outcome for Donald Trump.
There will be hiccups, Professor, in any election count, given the massive number of ballots that they're dealing with. Does any of it, though, any of those hiccups add up to what the president claims is massive voter fraud?
No, there's no evidence of voter fraud whatsoever. There are some disagreements about the way certain ballots should be handled, but it's a terrible disservice to the American people and to our democracy for the Trump campaign and Donald Trump in particular to be claiming that there is voter fraud going on. It's critical that everybody understand that what's going on is the counting of legally cast votes. And one of the things that's confusing in the American system is that every state has different rules for how the counting of votes will go, and there is some room for interpretation even in the legally mandated, within the legally mandated rules. And that's just the way our system works. In effect, we have 50 different elections rather than one overall election for the President of the United States.
Really good to talk to you, Professor. Many thanks indeed. Claire Finkelstein there in Philadelphia.